Hi everybody, welcome back. Hope you're all doing really well, and welcome to the first instalment in our Reasons You Should Read series that I'm going to be starting, which is Reasons You Should Read all my favourite books that I don't see enough people reading. And this week we're talking about The Infinity Courts by Kemi Bowman. So this is one of my favourite sci-fi fantasy books I have ever read, and Kemi Bowman is one of my favourite authors, so in this video I am going to be listing off a few reasons, spoiler free, as to why I think you should be reading this book if you haven't already. Especially since the sequel, The Genesis Wars, is coming out next month, so you can definitely go, perhaps if you like the sound of this book, have a look into it and decide to read it in time for the sequel. So a general synopsis is that this is a sort of science fiction fantasy book sort of set in the near future, and you follow a young girl called Nami, who's just turned 18 years old. She's just graduating high school and is on her way to a sort of graduate party when her friends ask her to perhaps stop by a store to get some liquor to get some alcohol drinks and stuff because she has a fake ID. And when she's there, unfortunately, she gets rather brutally murdered. And then she wakes up and she's in this strange place only to be told that she's dead. It's the afterlife. And she finds out very quickly that it's been taken over by a sentient AI, which is sort of this world's equivalent of Alexa or Siri, who has made her way to the afterlife and found her, gained sentience and has decided to rule over all the dead humans there, alongside all the AI. And Nami then finds herself caught up in this war between the AI and the sort of human souls, human souls in the afterlife. And Nami, being the pacifist that she is, doesn't quite understand where she fits in this world, and everything kind of goes from there. My first reason as to why you should be reading this book is if you like character-driven books, this is the one for you. It is very character-driven, as much of the, so much of this book is just driven by Nami's pacifism within the context of this war-torn world. And Nami is an incredibly compelling character. You can completely understand her struggle, and she isn't up herself about her pacifism. That just is a trait in herself. She's not self-righteous about it. She just genuinely does not understand why people would be at war, why they would be trying to sit down and negotiate and speak to each other. She just doesn't understand all this senseless violence. It's just such a huge part of her character and her morals, and her desire to have a family and a place in this world contradicts this. She wants to feel accepted with the humans that she finds herself with, but she just can't understand how they don't understand why she is trying to understand the AI. I just said the words understand far too many times there. But it just kind of really causes her to struggle about what she should be doing, because she loves these people that she's gotten to know, and she's this fine family that she's building, but at the end of the day she can't agree with what they're doing. It's just so well done in this book, and seeing this kind of belief in this sort of story is not something I've personally come across before, and I think that's one thing that I just really love about this book, is just how character driven it is and how compelling that character journey is, because I think it's something that a lot of people can understand, and like I said, you can completely understand where she's coming from and how she's struggling, and she reacts in a very human way, which is just what makes her such a fantastic protagonist. Another reason you should be reading this is the theming. One thing I love about this book is just the themes that it follows. Since we follow a pacifist, we get a lot of discussions about war and the cycle of violence, and since this is a sci-fi story, it integrates that with the concept of AI and the ethics of artificial intelligence, especially after they gain their own sentience and individuality, sort of bringing it back to the common discussions surrounding AI, but actually then delving into these characters as their own characters against the humans. And in a sort of Nami questions why we should, it's hard to explain without giving you spoilers, but it's just even under see, I just love this book so much I can't even talk about what I'm trying to do. I've got a script right there and I still can't even discuss this properly because it's just so good. Other things that you discover is just like themes of forgiveness. There's this Nami's murdered in the beginning of the book, and she's actually asked by another character whether she could forgive the man that did this to her. And it's questions and discussions like that which make me enjoy this story so much. It just actually asks the big questions about the stuff that's happening without it being pretentious or too hard hitting. It's just genuinely kind of curiously asking, would you forgive someone who murdered you? How do you find peace in a war against two different people? Can you condone genocide in any way, shape or form? No. But you know, how do you then get people who almost end up at that decision? It doesn't hit you over the head of any of it, it's central to the story and it's explored very naturally without feeling too exposition or, look, this is what I want you to understand about this book. You know, it is just very, very well balanced within the story as an overarching theme rather than just trying to be exposition and being too preachy. Another reason you should be reading this book is that the writing style is so easy to read. I love her writing style and it always has this gentle and magical quality to it, you know, even with her contemporary stories. When I first found out she was writing a fantasy, I was super excited because I read all 3 of her contemporaries and they have this incredibly magical quality to them, so I knew her writing would lend itself really, really well to a sort of fantasy story. It's just a really, really great reader overall, I think, because of that. It's very digestible, and you know, I read this in a day and then I think I read it again in another day kind of thing. You know, I really, really enjoy this book. It's very, very easy to get through. Another reason you should read this book: did someone order enemies to lovers? This book has one of my favourite examples of this trope, with great tensions between the war-hardened, cynical Gil and the empathetic pacifist Nami. They clash because they have such opposing ideals, and this even continues as their relationship grows and changes into what it becomes throughout the book. And I think that's what I like about it. They're not just enemies, or you know, they're not annoyed with each other and enemies for the hell of it. They're enemies because they disagree, because they genuinely find it hard to understand one another despite their attraction towards one another. It's brilliant, brilliant dynamic. And again, continuing those conversations that we have, you know, even when they do kind of start to find common ground, they still clash, they still argue, and I think it's kind of those things between them that kind of keeps them human and kind of it's just what I love so much about the dynamic in their relationship. Another reason: great cast of characters. You know, for a first book, it does a really, really good job at setting up the cast, and whilst we do focus more on Nami and Gil and some of the AI characters that we meet, I have a feeling that we're going to see much more of these other characters in the following books, and I think the setup's just done really, really well here to understand the dynamics with one another, who they are as individual characters and what they mean to Nami individually. Like, I'm already very attached to all of them, and one thing that Bowman is always really good at is giving such distinct and believable personalities to each and every one of her characters. And this extends to even the side characters in this story. You know, everyone feels really well-rounded and flawed and with their own motivations and stuff. I think it's just done incredibly well. So, you know, like I said, it's a character-driven book, and this extends to the side characters. If you like really well-rounded cast of characters, you will definitely like this book. And I mean, finally, just the plot twists and developments. Like, my jaw hit the floor at the ending of this book. I can't believe I didn't see this coming, and it completely changes everything you know about the story. I'm so excited for the Genesis Wars to see how Nami deals with the information that she learns at the end of this book and what it means for the wider context of the story and what Bowman's then going to do with the people that this affects. If anything, please just read this book so I can gush about that ending, because oh my god, I need to talk to somebody about this. It's fantastic, and I'm trying not to ramble on too much because I love this book so much. But that is it from me today. Those are the reasons why you should be reading The Infinity Courts by Kemi Dawn Bowman. If you read any of the Bowmans or any other books, let me know down below in the comments. What did you think? Have you read The Infinity Courts? Do you agree with things I said? Do you agree that it's fantastic? You know, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this sort of format of me just giving you more concise reasons as to why you should read this book. And let me know if you do decide to pick this up and what your opinion is. You know, definitely come back. I would love to hear from you. And if you're excited for the Genesis Wars, let me know. I think I need to gush. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.